I'm Darren with Akshon Esports, and welcome back to another installment of Akshon Recap, the show where we highlight various stories ongoing within the esports community. To start things off, Kaplan has revealed on the revamped Blizzard forums the ranked distribution of all Overwatch players in competitive play. 8% of the distribution is in bronze, 21% is in silver, and the majority of the population making up 32% of all competitive mode players currently sitting at gold. Moving up the rankings, Platinum comes in as the second most populated tier at 25%. But we start to see steep drop-offs within the 10% of players in Diamond and a mere 3% in Master, and the top 1% occupying the coveted spots in Grandmaster. And just as a reminder, the current competitive season comes to a close on Monday, February 25th at 4 p.m. PST, with Season 9 starting up 3 days later on Thursday, February 28th. Moving on to our next topic of the day, let's talk about Korean Overwatch. Even with the introduction of the Overwatch League as the pinnacle of Overwatch esports and the end of OGN's Apex series, Korean broadcast production value for Overwatch events remains at an all-time high and puts their international Tier 2 counterparts to shame. While here in the West we can't even get a decent stream of Contenders Trials, a Tier 3 Overwatch tournament, Contenders Trials Korea's production quality from MBC is incredible, as it hosts the event in a LAN setting, equipped with a lineup of talented casters, and even features an epic intro. Hopefully, we will see Blizzard put in a similar amount of work into the production value behind the broadcast of Contenders so that the Tier 2 League will become an enjoyable viewing experience that fans will actually want to watch. While we're still on the topic of Contenders Korea, check out this great 2v4 payload fight between Meta Bellum and MVP Space from Contenders Trials on King's Row that had me and probably most viewers on the edge of their seats. After having most of their team picked off as they tried to round one of the final corners of the Streets phase, it comes down to Meta Bellum's Naste and Shara to contest the payload for as long as possible against 4 members of MVP Space after the clock reaches overtime so that their teammates can come back from spawn in time to help push for the win. If this game is an indication of what's to come from the successor to Apex, I have high hopes for Contenders Korea being one of the most competitive tournaments outside of the Overwatch League. With Contenders Korea using this high production value to deliver a really high quality stream, do you think Blizzard will be able to keep up with their Contenders North America? Or do you see them not really being able to fully utilize all their assets, as the Overwatch League is likely using a lot of resources? Before we conclude our Overwatch talk, I'd just like to point out that teams have been making announcements confirming the player trade and roster leaks from earlier this month, such as Rascal officially becoming a member of Dallas, and the formal reveal of the Contenders lineups of the Florida Mayhem, San Francisco Shock, and New York Excelsior. Now, onto some PUBG news. If you've been following the game, you are likely aware of the ongoing massive ban waves as the developers continue their crackdown on cheating software users. But a new report from Yahtzee Story has revealed the shocking truth about the nature of the hacking problem. New data from the anti-cheat software BattlEye reveals that 99% of the banned accounts are from China. When PUBG was released in the region, it quickly rose to the top as one of the most popular titles in China, and now makes up around 46% of the game's total player base. The cheating problem has been so disruptive and prevalent that the game has been steadily bleeding players ever since reaching 30 million, similar to last January as some players began to turn to Fortnite and other titles that aren't as plagued as much by hackers. Despite the issues with punishing cheat abusers, PUBG continues to find success with a combined total of 75 million accounts across the 2 mobile versions of the game that were recently released into the Chinese market. For BattlEye and PUBG Corp, their fight against hackers feels like a never-ending battle, as in January alone, over 1 million accounts were auto-banned by the cheat detection software, but these numbers are still not enough of a deterrent to stymie some of the temptation to try and achieve victory through underhanded means. To end on a bit of a lighter note, PUBG Corp announced that they are looking into improving their matchmaking by introducing a ping-based matchmaking system. Quote, "Unlike the method considered earlier, we're going to divide the matching pool depending on ping. This means that the users with lower pings will be prioritized during matchmaking. The team is expecting to improve the overall play experience by splitting the matching pool rather than restricting connection depending on ping." The first series of trials of the new matchmaking system launched this week, along with a patch to the test server designed to fix several bugs and optimization updates to the game. Lastly, Newzoo has released their annual Global Esports Market Report, and it looks like the esports industry is flourishing with over $500 million in revenue, accompanied by an unprecedented growth rate. In 2017, the esports industry had an overall $655 million in global revenue, of which the majority at $468 million being made up of a brand investment revenue in the form of media, advertising, and sponsorships. For 2018, Newzoo predicts a global revenue projection of $906 million, with China and North America generating around 56% for a total of $509 million. And with that, that's all for this installment of Akshon Recap. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and maybe subscribe by clicking on that action icon. Otherwise, check out some of our other videos on the channel. Or, if you're interested, join our Discord server. Links to that and everything else mentioned in this video are in the description box below. This has been Darren with Akshon Esports, and we'll see you in the next one.